Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and well, the UPS man's just been, and I've got a new project computer here. I wasn't planning on buying another project computer or anything like that, but as you are, you go on eBay, don't you, and you browse all these things that you want to buy, and sometimes you put a cursory bid on, not expecting to win it, and this is one of these instances. What we've got here, it's an old Olivetti early PC. You know I like my early PCs. What we've got is, I've never actually seen one before. I had an Olivetti in the past, old Olivetti PC, which we'll go into perhaps in another video. I don't have it anymore, I only have the keyboard of it. But I always regret getting rid of that computer a long time ago. So I keep looking out for old Olivettis, because they're a bit quirky, the Olivetti PCs. They're not standard form factor, they're usually quite compact. Do things a tiny little bit differently than other manufacturers did in various ways. So yeah, anyway, I saw this on eBay and I put a cursory bid in on it. I put 11 quid in it or something, not expecting it to get it, because the last Olivetti system I saw sold on eBay sold for well over 100 quid. It did have its monitor, it was complete, but as this sold as seen. But I won this for 11 quid plus postage. So first thing, shall we, I mean, I'm not going to be powering it up in this video, I will say that now, because I do already know there is some corrosion damage on it. Probably the reason why I got it for what I got it for, to be fair. But what I thought we'd do is we'll unbox it and we'll have a quick squiz at it. Try and confirm what CPU it's got. It's either a 286 or a 386. But I can't find a lot of information on the M250. It seems a bit of an oddball, because you had, I think the one that I had in the past, back in the 90s I used to have a small computer repair business, sales and repair. This is really just after I left college. And I remember I took a Olivetti, it was a PC86 in as part exchange on a refurbished multimedia system, which is basically what I used to do. And it looks like we're XT class machine, 8086 based. Nice little system, but for some reason I never kept it. I think I used the monitor off it on a. They had VGA as well, even though it was an XT class system. They had VGA graphics. I think I used the monitor on another system, a refurb system that I sold off, and the computer got scrapped. I've just got its keyboard, and the keyboard was unique to the Olivetti, especially well on the PC86. I'm not sure about the. There was also the PC 286 that came out at the same time, which was actually the AT version of it. I'm not sure whether that used a non-standard keyboard as well. I am not sure whether this does or doesn't. It were a bit confusing on the photographs from that respect, to be honest. But anyway, whatever, it's quite, it's a early 286/386 possibly era system. Which is what I like, and it should be hopefully reasonably small form factor. I'm considering getting rid of my Zenith 286. I might put that up for sale because of its size. It's a fantastic battleship of a 286, but I don't really have anywhere I can have it set up to use it. I do also have that little IBM PS1, but that's a major ongoing project in its own right, because I just have the base computer with half a meg of RAM, no expansions, and it's quite tricky to expand that system. Okay, let's start. Sorry about that, chaps. My memory card was full. Anyway, where was I up to? Yeah, anyway, so this did come with a keyboard, but I'm not 100% sure whether this keyboard is actually the correct keyboard for this computer. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the keyboard that did come with it first, and we can. It will be a nice keyboard because these Olivettis did have rather nice keyboards with them. And it's been well packed, I must admit. They've used plenty of bubble wrap. There's loads around this keyboard. Let's get it. Dear me, they have put a lot of bubble wrap around it. Right. Now they're not a clicky keyboard, but that's the Olivetti's for a rather nice grey colour. No fading on it at all. There's no yellowing on it. So it's not a clicky keyboard, but they have a lovely feel to them. I remember the keyboard that I have. So I was going to try and get it to work on a normal standard computer, but I couldn't do. For one thing, it's XT standard, or at least it's non-standard. Another, it has a different plug on it, which is what we're going to come to. This has got a standard PS2 style plug on it, if you look like there. So hopefully this is just standard AT keyboard, and I'll be able to use that on another computer. I mean, I might be wrong, and I've got all this. Oh, sadly, it looks like its feet are missing. Oh no, hang on. No, it's got its nice little catch feet that flip up, and they both work. Right, so yeah, keyboard. Let's get on to the main part, shall we? And we can see whether that keyboard is correct, which I don't think it is. But there's a chance that the one that I've got might work. Or at least we might be able to make it work with it. Let's get the big pile of bubble wrap out. Oops. Yeah, maybe went to town with the bubble wrap on this. Well, that's just a thing to do with the delivery UPS thing. Let's get the box out of the way. Yet more cardboard to get rid of. Yeah, they went to town with the cardboard. We've got all that to get rid of. Right. See what we can do with the main. Again, they've used loads and loads of bubble wrap. And it must have cost them a couple of quid in bubble wrap, so this isn't recycled either. It's new. Ugh. See if we can get this last bit of bubble wrap. Last bit of tape off the bubble wrap. I can reuse that. I've never bought bubble wrap, you know. I've always managed to get enough from recycling what other people have sent me. Yeah, it's in good condition as well. Right, don't think I'll be able to show this. There's so much bubble wrap, I'm going to have to get it on my chair and just unwrap it. Dear me. Good grief, there is a lot of bubble wrap. I've turned it over like 5 times now, and I'm still not through it. This is super packing. Right around is that 8 or 9 wraps? Yeah, there's at least 10 turns of. I've got to show you this. This is how computers should be packed when they're shipped on eBay. Dear me. Now that's a fair amount of bubble wrap they've used. I'll get all that wrapped up in a minute, and that can get reused. It's also full of static, which isn't going to be good for the computer. I've got something metal I can touch. I can touch that. That's metal. Just earth myself, seeing I've been ooh dear, been going around that lot. So there we are. There we have it. That is Olivetti M250. on off switch at the front. Single 3.5 inch floppy drive there. Provision for another one, but if you notice, no provision for a 5.25 inch floppy on these. And the idea was, if you wanted a 5.25 on one of these, you actually used an external 5.25 inch drive with them, which are even rarer than the computers themselves nowadays. They weren't common then. Oh, let's go have a quick look round the back. Right. Well, I mean, it's not in brilliant condition, this computer. I'll say that straight away. There's obvious. I think whoever owned it may have been quite a heavy smoker by the look of the yellowing on that exhaust fan there. Indeed, I was right with the keyboard. We've got a PS2 mouse port, but that looks like a CGAR MDA graphics adapter output is actually the keyboard. So I'm hoping that other keyboard I've got, the Olivetti one with that style connector, will work with this. I'm not sure, because like I said, that was PC86 was an XT class machine. This is an AT class machine. Did they just change the connector, or did they use their own proprietary keyboard control, in which case there's a chance it might work? But we'll come to that, you know, when we're a bit further on the project. I mean, I'm certain I can get a keyboard to work with this thing. It's just what keyboard and how we do it is I'm not quite sure yet. Basically, I've not found really any information about this M250. If anyone has any information, I'd be more than happy to get it. I watched a video on YouTube on someone restoring the PC286, which had I think that had power supply issues. You may have power supply issues in this one. I don't know yet. But this isn't a PC286. It's its own beast. They don't really look. Well, they look similar, because all these Olivettis have a certain look about them, but it's certainly not just a rebadged one of these. I suppose the next thing we should do is really have a peek inside it and see exactly what we've got. I don't even know whether there's a hard drive in here. We know we've got a floppy drive. Obviously, we don't appear to have any expansion cards fitted. We've just got PS2 mouse port. It's non-standard keyboard connector, a RS232 port, 25 pin, standard parallel port, and a VGA monitor port. That's all, and then obviously we've got power in and a monitor loop out for the power. Most computers of this age seem to have a monitor loop out like that on them, which was quite nice. Just meant that your monitor, you didn't have to have a separate plug for your monitor. It literally just piggybacked off there. And then another nice thing is we've got thumb screws to get in it. So another Olivetti thing. So we don't need to even go and get a screwdriver. We can just spin them out. It's well over 20 years since I worked on one. Well, even opened an Olivetti up, so I'm working with you. I know it's got a plastic back cover, but does that back cover have to come off first, or do you slide? I know you have to. There we are. You slide it. Right, we're in. Now, I can tell straight away this poor computer has obviously spent many years sat in a very damp cellar or something like that, because it is absolutely covered in corrosion. All the metal work. Ooh, let's lift it up and I'll show you. I don't know if you can see up here. All this is corroded. All inside the framework. It's only surface. It's not rot or anything. It is just surface. We've got surface corrosion on top of the power supply. That drive bay there, which indeed we do have a hard drive. There is a hard drive lurking under there. An IDE hard drive. That was the other thing. These things, used IDE hard drives. Even I think even the PC86 used an XT IDE hard drive. This certainly uses IDE, with it being an AT. It's standard IDE as well, so even if that hard drive's dead, we've got no issues about putting another hard drive in here, if indeed we can actually get this thing up and running. Ooh, it's quite a heavy beastie. It's not too big, but it is still quite a heavy wee beastie. We've got 4 banks of RAM, so we've probably either got 1 meg or 4 meg of RAM on board. I'm not sure what the maximum on these is. It's probably either 4 or 8 meg. It could be as low as 2 meg. I've seen that on, especially if it's like a 286. I don't know yet if it's a 286 or a 386. The corrosion that I saw on the video, on the YouTube pictures, which is in around this area here, actually in real life doesn't look quite as bad as it looked on the eBay listing. We obviously do have some there's a bit of greenness around these. They'll be 74 series Logic, won't they? It's all surface mount, well, mostly surface mount as well. What I can't spot, what I was expecting to see, was a clock horrendously leaking. Ah, there they are. Yeah, I've got some clock batteries in that corner under there. Fun. Let's see how hard. The other thing is, because it's so corroded, some of these fixings are going to be fun to get to as well. But we do indeed have. I can spot them under there. Some batteries soldered to the board. 2 of them, in fact, which is a bit unusual. You usually just find one, like 3.6 volt Vata, like you find in the Amiga 500 pluses and other various Amigas, soldered to the board. But it seems to have 2 of them. I can't see a processor yet either. Plenty of there's chips and tech. Oh, I'm going to have to be careful of this. There was a chips and tech IC there, and I just tried brushing the dust off the top of it, and the entire chips and tech logo and the printing and everything is just wiped off the chip. I presume that's to do with the very damp environment it's been stored in. Again, I'd just like to see if I can find out whether it's a 286 or a 386. What I can't seem to spot yet is the processor. I've got a date for it, the 1st to the 2nd 91, so it's 1991 vintage computer. Unless it had a repair done in there. I'm guessing that's the date of manufacture, to be fair. I'll see if I can find some date. I'm worried about actually touching the ICs now, with the fact that that's just flaked off the way it did. Yeah, we're going to have to be careful with that, because the printing is just coming off a lot of them chips when you touch them. But I can't see a processor. Oh, what's that down there? No, that's no. Unless it's that there. But I'm expecting that's probably the keyboard controller, judging where it is on the board. It does seem to use standard AT style power connectors. Yeah, it does actually seem to use standard AT style power connectors, as where that's a little bit more unusual for Olivetti, because they tended to do things like the power supply and the power connectors non-standard, as where that does look fairly standard. Got a lot of through-hole caps, but they don't look They don't look terrible, at least they're not surface mount ones. I can't actually see any surface mount capacitors on this thing, they all seem to be through hole. There's something there that looks like it's probably the CPU, but we're not going to be able to see it unless we perhaps take some of this. Let's do a little bit of a tear down. It is only going to be if I can get some of these to undo. I presume you're meant to be able to undo these with your fingers. Well, let's not undo them with fingers. Let's see if we can. What have we got in here? There we go. I'm going to try and see. I think that was. Has that come free? I think that's free. This will come out. There's a connector there. There we are. I mean, there's no corrosion on things like that. In fact, that doesn't look in particularly bad condition. The caps will probably need checking on it. But and there's no corrosion on them pins, so the rise is alright. Now that's out of the way, I'm wondering whether I can pull this. It's definitely not like the PC86. I mean, the whole way it's constructed and everything's completely different. I just want to see if we can get the drive bays like here out, and so we can actually have a look at the rest of the main board and have a look at that corrosion, see how bad it actually is. This part round here, which is all I could see on the eBay pictures, I said it doesn't actually look too terrible. I think that might clean up okay. But there's a lot of. I want to get this out, so like I said, the batteries are on about here. The batteries are under there, and that's I think where the most of the main part of the corrosion is. So I would like to get that out. I think it probably all comes out as one unit. This right. You push that, that's it. You push that back, that unlatches. We've undone that from that side. It would be a lot easier if it weren't quite so rusty. There's another thing here, what do you do with it though? Do you pull it, do you push it, do you twist it? Let's disconnect the floppy drive. We've already disconnected the power for that. Right. There we go. Wow. So we've got, well, in fact the bottom of that doesn't look so bad. Just the top that's got the, you can see how bad the corrosion is there. Don't know if it looks as bad as it is. Don't probably look as bad on the camera as it is in real life, but the bottom's actually not bad at all. Let's get that to one side, because we'll take a look at the floppy drive in its own right. Right, okay, we're in. Now, let me see if I can tip this up so you can perhaps have a closer look. Right, so those are them batteries that I was talking about, and I actually don't believe this, but neither of them batteries look like they've leaked. I can't see any corrosion really around the ends of the batteries, you know, where they usually go. They don't look like they've leaked. I wonder if this thing's literally had water pouring through it at some point, because that part of the board looks fine. The corrosion looks to be around here, mostly here, and it looks a bit like water damage at the same time. Let me see if I can zoom you in, see if you can see this a bit better. But it looks like we might actually have water damage. Oops. Right, I'm showing you the wrong part of the board there, but let me come over here. There we go. You look round this section here. That's all I could see on the eBay listing, was this part of the board here. There was a shot of the RAM and like this part of the board here, and obviously I zoomed in and I could see that there was some corrosion damage here, but it looks like you've got liquid. It's literally had something pouring down into it. Let's see if I can just get you up and show you the batteries. There we go. There's the two rechargeable cells there, the NiCads. But they really don't like they've got corrosion around. Well, no more corrosion than down what I've just shown you. It's weird. I've never, in this age, and especially in this state with this amount of corrosion, I was expected, if it had batteries like this, to be toast round here, but there's only the same amount of like corrosion really as there is lower down on the board. But I have a feeling that might be the CPU there. It's marked as U1. It's got some crystals right next to it. It's got some Olivetti custom chips near it. It's got that PC chips chip. Let me zoom you out a little bit so you can see. That's that PC chips chip there, which basically as soon as I touch the top of it, the writing's just rubbed off. But I'm wondering, could that be, I'm not sure. It's going to be one of the controllers. It's going to be hard floppy, or it could be VGA. I expect VGA to be. And then again, I can't see a VGA chipset yet. Nothing that's jumping out to me as a VGA chipset anyway. It's definitely got VGA as its output. There's the feature connector for the VGA down there. But I presume that there may be the CPU. Which makes sense with that socket there, would be for a Masco processor. I think I might have just completely wiped all the thing off that. Let's see if I can use my old phone. Use the flashlight on that, see if we can illuminate things a bit. Oh, where's it gone? Come on. There we go. Let's see if we can see. Ah, I can read it now. Right, so we've got a 286 8 megahertz CPU there. Oh, see, you can't see what I'm looking at there, can you? No, you can. So, and that PC chip, no, it is literally just rubbing off as I touch it, the printing on that. It's not legible now, but I can tell it's PC chips chip. But no, we've got an Intel 286-8, so that's 288 megahertz 286. So we've got a 287 co-processor slot next to it there. I presume that's the BIOS for the computer, which I guess would mean that will be the VGA ROM there. Ah, and we've got Paradise chip there, so we've got Paradise VGA chipset, so basically the VGA card around there. There's a little bit of corrosion around those batteries, but I can't actually say it seems to be coming from the batteries. It seems to be more just the board associated around them. So basically, I'll probably finish this video in a minute, because it is just a quick initial assessment of this thing. I'm not probably going to crack into this straight away unless I really can't help myself. But the way we're going to go around this system, I think, is we'll look at the power supply, because I know that the Olivettis, they can have some issues with some of the models anyway. They seem to have power supply issues. So we'll make sure we can get the power supply up and running, make sure that all the rails coming out of that are where we should expect them to be. If this is standard, the problem is, like, if I can't identify a service manual for it, or at least a board layout for it, I can't say for certain that that's standard AT on the power. It looks like standard AT. It's certainly standard AT connector. If I knew that for certain, I could use another power supply I've got to try powering the board up and make sure that see what life we've got in the board. The board's certainly going to need a clean up. But I don't know, because I can't find that much data about this PC. This Olivetti M250. So plenty of other Olivetti models I can find quite a bit of information about. This one in particular, no. I'm quite pleased with it for what I paid for it, to be fair. It should make a nice little retro 286 system. I think stick an ad-lib card in it or something like that, and Commander Keen and stuff like that will play very, very nicely on it. Well, yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now, because there's not much more I can do with it in this video. But there will be upcoming videos of us looking at the power supply, possibly seeing what we can do with that hard drive. That's a proper old school. Let's see if we can see a size on it. It's probably 40 or 80 megabytes, to be honest. It's even got a defect table. You can tell it's old school when it's got a defect table on it. It doesn't say on the top of it its capacity. It's a Western Digital. Its model is WD93048-A. So at least with that I can find out the specs of it just using the model number there. It's 6th of the 15th 1989. So that's odd. So we've got a 1989 hard drive, and so I wonder if that was just a repair to the board, because the board's got a penciled in date, well, penned in date on the sticker of the 1st of the 7th 91. So were they just using up old stock hard drives in like cheaper systems, and this is a 91 system, or was it a system from 89 and it had a repair in 91? We're not sure. Hopefully we can find some more information on about this system. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little unboxing and look at this old system. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.